Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen, and my guest today is Tawny Parker, and also I have Jason D. McKean here. And I have to. And Jason, will you talk to Tawny for a moment while I go in and get
absolutely.
our echoing?
Absolutely. So welcome, Tawny. Tawny Parker, you are an author.
I am.
How does that feel to call yourself an author?
I'm excited and a bit nervous, but yeah, I'm very excited and happy to have my book published, and hopefully I can get it out and have people read it.
Is this your first book?
Yes, this is my first book.
Yeah. Have you always been a writer?
Yes, I have actually. I've written songs, poetry. I've actually written a movie script, and then I thought, well, I might as well get into a book. So, and I went ahead and tried it and went from there.
It's like a natural extension to, write in different genres, different, types of expression. But publishing, publishing your first book, that is like a wonderful feat. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was not easy, I'll tell you that, but it was well worth it.
Tell us how hard it was.
Yeah. I mean,
Why?
it is. It's difficult, isn't it? It seems like it's going to be easy.
It was very difficult, and I came across a lot of issues too, as far as like, well, I mean, the writing part actually I thought was the easiest part, but the publishing, I had to make sure that I had enough pages, enough words, and then it came down to where we had to design the book cover and design, just basically fill in like about author section and dedications, get the ISBN from the Library of Congress. It just, yeah, it was all one.
It's quite the journey is to publish, your writings. I teach people how to publish. I know that I helped guide you guys a little bit, but only a little bit. It's like you did the lion's share of the work there.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, congratulations on getting through all of the steps to have a book there on Amazon. What's the title of your book?
It's called All Within Time, and I named the subtitle New Beginnings because it is my first book, and it is a series of 3 books. As far as I'm planning to do for now, just depending on how well the book does, open to doing more series,
So I would say it's like, don't worry about, how well, the first book does. It's just like, keep writing, build to it. And, you'll have, you grow an audience along the way.
Yeah, that's true. And I enjoy writing. It just comes to me naturally, and I'm able to write it down pretty quickly, actually. So, like I said, the hardest part for me was more just the getting it advertised, getting it
marketing.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works sometimes? Yeah. That it's the passion of putting it down on paper and telling a story. And I know that you told a really great story. It's about a young writer who experiences an unexpected journey through time. And we love that sort of stuff. I think that we, with past life regression, and we've known like author very closely, Richard Matheson, who wrote Somewhere in Time and, Bid Time Farewell, and gosh, some of the other, what was that movie with
Robin Williams?
What Dreams May Come. Yeah. That was a beautiful movie. But yeah, I love the time traveling. I think it gives you so much, such a beautiful history, and just we all kind of learn as we read along. I love
Yeah.
it.
Now, in my book too, as well, as putting a lot of history, and I was trying to do research before I put the history down.
Yeah.
I wanted, I did it right. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And so, yeah, no, it's fun. It's a good process, the writing. I've been writing a book too, and it's at the agents right now. But yeah, it's a journey. I mean,
It
you
is.
just have to really be disciplined and sit there and write.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. And I got to where is, it's like, oh, I got to get this done because,
Yeah.
yeah,
Discipline,
because I'm
and then plus you want to get it out there as fast as you can, but you want to make sure you do it right as well.
right. That's the big thing, is doing it right. So yeah, I just, I'm used to doing a lot of projects, but that was a long project. Yeah. Because I wanted to do it right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's a romance novel.
Yes, it's a time travel romance love story novel.
Oh, nice.
Well, this first book is more about the love story in the beginning. I introduced characters. I wanted basically to let the reader know what the characters are like, and just basically to get them to fall in love with the characters and follow on their journey.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so
Yeah. And so this is your first book and you're already writing on the second?
yes, I'm already writing on the second book, and I am on chapter 5 at the moment. So,
Wow. So
yeah, and
it's
a week ago. So I'm already like cranking it out. It's literally like word vomit on the paper.
right. Right. And that's kind of what has to happen, is that
Yeah.
is so in the mood and so in the passion of it that you can just, throw it down on paper and then do, the editing and then, round out the character and then just keep it coming, keep it
Oh,
coming. I love it. I
and
love that.
well, sometimes I don't realize how late I'm writing, and I realize, oh my gosh, it's like 3 in the morning and I'm still up
Right.
writing.
Yeah, that's a writer's life. I love it.
A break, and but
Uh-huh.
I get so wrapped up into it because I'm so excited and energized, and the second story is just as great, and I've got a lot more going on too in the second story, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Mhm.
And it's a continuation of the first.
Yes, it is. It is.
So
Yeah,
new characters, but the main characters also.
yes, correct. Main character have added a couple people in there, but yeah, other than that, it's the main characters of the first book. And but yeah, the first book is pretty much introducing the main characters, and then as it goes, it's going to go along to the second book and then the third book as well. But I have
Yeah.
story already set for the third book as well, so everything's ready to go. I just have to get it all out and and get it
Right.
published. So,
Yeah. Isn't it funny? We look at somebody like who wrote Harry Potter series, C.K. Rowling's, and
yeah. Oh,
JK.
J.K. Rowling's rather, and it's just an interesting thing, to think that she was turned down so many times for those great premises,
oh,
those great books, because she just you can tell she just laid it out on paper.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the road to succeed, you have to fail sometimes, but you have to keep
Right. Or yeah, it doesn't appeal to everyone.
Yeah,
I would say my work doesn't appeal to everyone.
like my
Jason probably
story,
not either. Yeah.
the love
Ar-
story. I'm sure won't want to read it, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh, the love story part I think is so beautiful. That's the fun part, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's universal as far as like how does someone not love love
yeah,
as far as like reading about people meeting, falling in love,
yeah,
and with that idea of time, right? It's like those differences between the consciousness of someone who is from a future time, going back into the past or so. It's like you know, it's like we're different people.
Yeah, we
Are because we have the access of information, and our perception can be, you know, pretty wide, right? We can be well traveled. And back in the day, you know, maybe someone knew just a smaller a world, you know, that was their world, just where they lived. And so it's fascinating, you know, the possibilities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And back then too, not a lot of people, I mean, it's the population was very, a lot less than what we have now. So yeah, everything was more intimate and people knew each other more.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. What's can I ask what the time period was that you know you set your novel in, and was it something that you on a personal level that you are just like totally into?
Yeah, I was very interested in the Regency Victorian era. So I
Mhm.
threw it in the Victorian, more in the Victorian era. But yeah, it's still, I mean, I describe the characters as, well, they, you know, I'm sure they lived, you know, throughout the Regency part to the Victorian era. So they still have this, um, their clothes, their outfits, and yeah, just basically like what they did, what their protocols were, what certain responsibilities they had, and
Yeah.
duties. Those, yeah. So.
Awesome. Awesome. You know, I was really interested in that era too, with the readers and the seers of that time, and
Mhm.
because they read for a lot of the courts of Europe. And so I would read everything that I could when I first got into metaphysics, you know, and started to study. That was part of the first leg of my studying, was all what happened within the 19th century of the seers and readers of that time. And then I went back further, because then I started reading, you know, I started studying astrology, and I decided to do all what Alexander the Great brought out of Chaldea. And, you know, I went that direction, all that Eastern thought. Yeah,
Mhm.
that. So, but, you know, I love the history part of, and you know what, because we think, you know, now is they couldn't possibly know how we feel, but of
Oh, yeah.
course they did then. You know, everybody loves their kids, they want a great mate, you know, they want a great job. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that was there back then. And then of course, you know, titles and and
Hmm.
but yeah, that was their goal, was to
Hmm.
aim high and just, yeah, get somewhere and be successful in life.
Hmm. And so yeah, with that too, do you feel that she learns about herself? That's what you were saying in some of your ad copy,
Yes,
that your main character learns about herself.
emotions, because as she's, you know, going through the time traveling and whatnot, she basically she
Okay.
of the
It's
word,
okay.
but
Oh
she,
yeah, we're all like that. Yeah, she's just trying to find her steadiness within the.
yeah, within that period,
Mhm.
she maintain her cool and she tries to go and talk to people, and then that's when she finds out where she's at and where she's from, or
Right.
where she, the time period, and then from there she has to find her way to try to figure out why she's out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then along the way as she's doing that, she runs across obstacles, very difficult situations. She meets, she has a rare encounter, and you know, of course there's a love interest, there's a villain, there's always going to be a,
Yeah.
and basically, yeah, she just, I put, as far as the book goes, I put a lot of emotions and actions into the book so that people can put themselves, like the reader, I wanted the reader especially put themselves into those characters and to feel that they're living in their shoes basically, and how
Right.
they would do, and what actions they would do as well. So
I love it. I love it. It's I do that with my meditations. I want them to see it, know it, hear it, and feel it. And so therefore you're experiencing
exactly.
the actual meditation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
Watching
that's what you're doing with the book.
Yeah. Kind of like watching a movie where they're playing a role almost.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, that full immersion
Mhm.
into the environment of it.
I'm always a pretty good audience for that. I love movies. I can, like, if it seems like a intense moment, I can stand in the theater and scream. I've been known to do that. Yeah. And I definitely, if it was ever any horror movies or anything, I run out of the room.
Yeah.
But can't handle it. Definitely.
About this,
Definitely.
I put a lot of how you were making me laugh. I put a lot of witty humor into it too, as well.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, there's adventure in the book. There's comedy,
Mhm.
story. There's a villain. There's happy endings, and there's also a lot of twists and turns.
Okay.
So it's not always happy either. So yeah, but it definitely is exciting. You would have to read it and see.
Right. It almost feels like you've been a writer before,
Yeah.
a past life or something, because you really have it. It seems to be so easy for you.
Yeah, I've always wondered that.
Mhm.
And ever since I was in school, I know too, I've had teachers tell me you need to be a writer. And it's funny because I've gone and it's funny because as many things that I wrote, I've always put that aside because I thought of it as, maybe it's a hobby. And I went and tried to pursue other things like photography, interior designing. So I was just like going a different direction. But then it just, some reason, something kept compelling me to go back into writing.
Yes.
And then
Yeah. Well, I love your photography too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely noticed it over the years. It's like, wow, those are some great pictures on your trips.
Yes.
Wow.
What I do is I love traveling. And when I travel around the world, I basically just take that camera with me and take as many pictures as possible.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you have a good eye for that. You should get into that. So
Right.
Where were you recently?
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
so
Where have you been? Where have you been, like, this year?
where have I been around the world?
Yeah. This year.
This year. Oh, okay. I've been to Africa.
Mhm.
I've been to Zanzibar and Tanzania, and then Alaska twice. And
Wow.
You went to Alaska twice in the same year?
yeah, that was this last year. From this point to last summer. Yeah.
Mhm. Nice. Beautiful.
We love
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, Jason, looking now, I wouldn't go to Alaska. Yeah. Because
Jason,
we're from Alaska. I'll put it out on Facebook Live and on the radio. Yeah, we're from Alaska. But Jason,
Tara's from Alaska.
he likes to say he's not from Alaska.
I'm from California, who happened to live in Alaska for 12 years.
He does have a point. I know. And I'm from California too. I'm from San Diego. I was born and raised in San Diego. My dad was in the military, so of course I was, a military family. And then I've lived there most of my life. And then I moved to Reno the last few years of my high school. And then while I was out there, I had my son. And then we moved back to California. And right now my son is 23 years old. And
wow. You would never know that. You look 23, so it's okay.
Yeah. It's like, what?
With him, and because he's so tall, and it's funny, he's extremely tall, and he's a very handsome, good-looking man. And everybody, it's crazy because when he comes up to me, he'll say, "Hey, mom," or something, and somebody hears, they're like, "Mom, oh my gosh, I thought that was your boyfriend," or I thought your brother. And I was like, no, that's my son. And they're like, how old did you have him? Like, were you like 12 years old?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
the 12-year-old thing. Yeah. I love that.
oh, I was
I love that.
19.
Mhm.
It was great though. I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it turns out great, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was 19 when I had him. A little younger than I wanted to be, but I mean, other than that, I don't regret it. He's been the greatest thing to me. He's a good.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Now I had a young I was just quite young when I had my first child too.
Yeah.
So same thing. I was 17 though.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
17. Oh,
Yeah, and it was the same thing. You
Same.
know, when he was 12 and 14, I was only like 30 something, and they always thought that, you know,
guys were.
is that your sister? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we have some awkward situations again where they think that I'm his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they totally. Now my second son gets it too. Are you two married?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's
God.
great.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. It's great for us. It's not so great for them. But yeah.
Yeah. So it just happens.
I was out with my mother. We had breakfast together, and the waitress thought we were a couple, like me and my
Oh.
mother, who's in her 80s. And it was like, that's just weird.
Why you let your beard go gray? There is Lady Clairol after all.
I earned my white hair.
You earned it. Grow it.
Right. Well, it's Arctic blonde. That's what Mom
Yeah.
calls her hair.
Oh, Arctic blonde. Well, maybe that is, from my Alaskan upbringing.
It's the last weather.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the Alaska weather. Yeah, keep your face warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to write the book?
The book, oh wow, I want to say, wow, honestly, it took me less than a month. I want to say a couple, but the only reason, and it's funny too, the story, well, I started it back in 2015. So the book, the story takes place back in 2015.
Mhm.
And that's when I pretty much almost finished it. But, with life situations, I was able to, I just had to, being a single mom too, I had to put things aside. And I just, at the time too, I think back in 2015, it was a lot more harder to get the book published as well.
Mhm.
And so I kind of put it on the back burner and just went off to a different direction. But recently my brother just passed away just last February. And I was having a lot of problems trying to deal with his passing and the coping.
Oh.
So what I did was I had to reach out to a counselor because it was a lot to handle, because me and my brother, we were very, very close, and he was only 3 years older than me. So he was my big brother. He was my protector. So yeah, and I had to reach out to a counselor, and she was asking me, she was like, what do you like to do? Things to help, heal you and help cope with his passing. And I was mentioning a couple things. I mentioned interior designing. I mentioned that I'm very artistic and creative. I like to build things and take old things and revamp them and turn them into something else. I love to write, photography, and then of course camping, hiking, fishing, all the outdoor activity. And then it got to the point where she was mentioning all those things, but she was like, you know what, writing would actually help out the best, she thought, because she said that I can write down my emotions. I could even write letters to my brother, acting like if he was still alive.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Journals. Yeah. So I was doing all that, and it was a lot of help. And as I was doing that, I remembered my book, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and re-edit it and fix it up and see what I can do. And just something about that compelled me. I felt like my brother was there telling me this is what I needed to do. And it just felt like he was giving me that push to get out there and do it, and to get it accomplished, get it out there, get it published. And you know, and so I did that. I felt like it wasn't just for me. I felt like I kind of did it more also, not just for my healing, but for him as well. And I even dedicated the book in his name as well.
Oh, good. So he's helped you. He's
He's helped
helping you from the other side.
He is
He's
inspiration. He has. And
mhm.
same with my father passed away before too, before I could finish the book. So yeah, I was able to dedicate it to both of them. But yeah, it was a big help. And he knew too, he knew. And I remember too, before he was asking me and telling me, get it out there, Tawny, get it out there. But again, finding a publisher and coming up with the money, it just, yeah, it's not as easy as people think. So
Yeah.
That's the old method.
that's the
Is
old,
that it wasn't
And
as easy.
The
Now
old paradigm.
it's a lot easier because you don't have to upfront, put up front like thousands of dollars to
Yeah, you used
publish
to
a
have
book.
to put lots of money.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, to create a presentable book, it's like you want to have like an artist or so, like who puts together the cover, who can do the layout. But it's like you can do a layout in Word, in Microsoft Word, or so.
Well, I did my covers myself. I designed them.
I would hope so.
It's
And
beautiful.
since you're a photographer,
Yeah, it's
and all.
beautiful.
I used my Photoshop app and I did everything on there.
Mhm.
Funny thing is I got book 2 and book 3 ready to go. So those covers are done too as well.
That's good. See, it's proactive. Well, and your brother probably is saying, keep going, keep going.
Yes, he's been pushing me all the way through. And I know even though he's not here to see my accomplishment, but I feel like he knows, and then he's
does.
spirit, and he's still pushing me through. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he is. He's pushing you through. I mean, and it gives him something to do because he sees probably where you're going with it. So he wants to push you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we start these little projects and we think, oh no, they're not going to do anything. Like, what would I have ever known that I was writing just meditations? I thought, oh, I love this concept. I'm going to go ahead and write a meditation about this, and and then a couple of years later, it's nominated for Grammys. So you just never know where something's going to go. So you just allow it to become what you're supposed to do with it. And I've put off things for years. I'll put off things, as Jason knows. And then all of a sudden I'll pick it up. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I need to do that. Like I'm teaching now on teachables, my astrology, because that's been one thing where, I want to get it out there before I get too old. So I want people, to learn about it, learn the techniques, and learn some of the stuff that I've studied for 40 years, So.
Yeah, I'm 52 right now, and I told myself I need to get everything out there before I get too old and I'm to the point where I can't read up close.
Right. It's like that traveling. You don't want to be one of those, an old lady in a walker. You want to be running and jumping and, fishing. And
that's why I'm traveling while I'm young, because that's the way to do it. Because like you said, you don't know if later on down the road, I know a lot of people say, oh, we'll wait till we retire, but you don't know if you have any illnesses, diabetes, cancers. You don't know any of that. So it's better to live your life as early as possible if you can.
Yeah.
Before
that's a good saying. Live your life as early as possible.
As early as possible.
I like it. Better write that down for your book. Yeah, I love it.
Your life is early.
It's like a good bumper sticker.
Yeah. Live your life as early as possible.
Because you're gonna, if you wait too long, it can be too late, and you're gonna end up regretting it. So I always try to live life to the fullest.
It's true, because we were talking, Matthew Engel is who's doing the astrology classes with me, and he's a astrologer and psychotherapist out of San Francisco. And it's really interesting. He was saying that somebody he knows wanted to put their astrology information. They were just prolific at it. But,
Mhm.
you know, they now have Alzheimer's. So they
Oh,
didn't get their workout. You know, they always thought, oh no, the next day. No, the next day. No, you know, and it just didn't happen.
yeah. See, that's
You put it
that.
off, think you're going to live forever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think, and that's the thing. We don't live forever. And I mean, we plan to, we want to, but again,
Yeah, we want to.
illnesses and cancers, and I've had family members that have died very, very young with cancer.
Mhm.
Recently had a cousin that just passed away. He was only 32.
Yeah, that's sad. Sad
And
for his family.
and then again my brother, and just those, just that realization hits you and you realize, oh my goodness, you just have to live your life, because if you don't, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
And just wonder, you're always going to wonder, what if, or why didn't I do this? Or, you know, you have to take a chance. And that's why I did the book, because I was like, I have to take this chance. I have to do it for my brother. I have to do it for me.
Mhm.
And just hopefully from there, I hope, you know, I get successful from that. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're great at it so far, you know. I mean, the cover's beautiful, the inside, it looks really intriguing. I can't wait to read it because, you know, it's Victorian times. And, you know, like I said, I love all that,
And
the reading that was going on in that time. So I love all the, you know, all of that.
it also does take place in modern times too. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Right.
modern.
Right. And that she's finding herself. I love when people are actively seeking. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're like setting an example too within your own family, within your own like you know, friends, and just
Mhm.
as far as like, you know, having creative talent but manifesting it too,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like you're not just holding it in, you know, or just, you know, just writing something and then just like, you know, putting it away in a file cabinet somewhere. It's like you're looking to actively share it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it's like your like writing is a way for you to share it, right? But now that will open up the door because of our you know, digital times, our way of you know, being able to access, you know, interviews and things like that from our own home and all. It's like, you know, now you can speak about it.
Mhm.
You know, you can share your work, you know, talk about it, promote it, with interviews, and you know, so it expands who it is that you are, and who you can reach.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't want to put that talent to waste. I have a lot that it just, again, I've done so much, and it's like, you know, I have to do something, and I just got to get it out there, and I did. But I've tried a lot of, I've tried I tried acting, I've tried modeling, I've tried everything, and singing, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, writing is something that just, it comes naturally and very fast. I don't know how else to explain it, but once I have a story or a song or just anything, I have to write it down, and it's very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's
the
great.
vast majority of my friends are writers, you know,
Yes.
Yeah.
and there is a discipline to it,
Uh,
and and they're all different. Their creative process is all different. Like,
mm,
you know,
very,
it's like with stories and all, sometimes you can just have a framework, and then you fill in that framework, or you know, as a writer, you can surprise yourself along the way. You can
yeah.
like, you know, the characters, they take on a certain life of their own, and you allow for them to tell their own story.
And
um
mention that is, usually when I write a book, I have a list of notes, and I just jot it down. And the funny thing is as I'm writing the book, new things come up, and then I have to throw it in from there. And then, yeah, just basically fit it all in there to where it flows and it makes sense. And it naturally tells the story. And yeah.
Yeah.
that
I love it. Yeah.
ma-
No, I know. Yeah, we primarily know writers. It's been an interesting journey that way. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
we became best friends with Jess Stern when I was 21. Yeah. And on from there, we've collected writers for some reason. Yeah.
Well, I never considered myself a writer at all.
Mm.
I've been a musician, been
Yeah.
a filmmaker, a painter,
Mhm.
very artistic. But writing was like, oh God, it's like, I don't want to do that. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the process.
Well, I
But
wrote a script, and I kind of wanted to do that too, as far as getting into filmmaking and whatnot. But yeah, that's a whole nother avenue. That would be a lot more difficult to get into.
Well,
yeah,
you're probably on your way to do like scripts and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely do scripts.
Yeah.
And
Or
when I
allowing somebody else to script it out and you just keep writing. You don't have to do it all. We give projects to other people as well. So that but
when
you get
he's in shows, I'm always like, why did they do it that way? They should have done it this way. Or, I'm always trying, or sometimes I'll guess it even before it happens, and it happens. And it's like, how did I know that? Yeah. But yeah, I'm the same way.
yeah.
well,
The beauty of the novel, though, is that you're the creator of it, right? It's like you get to have your say throughout, right? Like screenwriting, that's a collaborative effort. It's like, yes,
collaborative.
you can write it out, but maybe along the way an actor will say, I'm having difficulty with that. Maybe the character wouldn't say it this way, so I'm going to change it, or the director will say, what, let's kind of change this up and all. So what you've written, by the time you see it on screen, may be like a little bit
Completely
different.
Yes. So it's easier just to do write it out and let it go.
The novel is yours. Your name is on it. It's like, it is totally yours.
Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you're right. It's all about my imagination and just what I want to put down in there.
Mhm.
And I could always go back and change whatever I want before I get it out there. And
Mhm.
so, yeah.
The beauty of it now is, like, you could publish it on Amazon, right? And say, you know what? I don't like that. And then you could go back and change it and just re-upload it. And then that's the new version of it.
Mhm.
And I had to make changes. I changed the cover.
The cover,
Yeah.
it's like
in
anything.
order on Kindle, the format, the way I uploaded it from Word to Kindle, it would come out differently. So I'd have to go change a couple things. And yeah, that was a lot. That was another I was coming across.
Yeah. You have to do that. All of them are different like that when you do like Pages to Word, stuff like that. Yeah. The Mac system over it changes everything. Parameters. Yeah.
It's a learning process, that part of publishing.
The secretarial skills come in handy.
It's just like pushing the right buttons, to get the product that is closest to your vision.
That's true.
So it matches the vision of the words. And I tell people that the vast majority of, like, creating your own books and stuff, it's like you don't want to get too fancy with it, because a visual style can also take you out of a story. And the beauty of words is that they create this flow of imagination. And so you don't want to get too or so stylized that you'll notice it,
right?
Take you out of the story.
Yeah, that's true. Where it becomes too wordy and too many details.
Well, yeah, you're trying to manipulate the reader at that time. Yeah. I mean, you can look at like styles like Anne Rice is a good example because she had such style. It's like, it was just almost, it was luscious on every page, so, you just never know. That's a cool style. But it was, it was the sentiment she put into it. It's just like cooking. I have Everest, like Jason's birthday cake. Nothing's left of that birthday cake. You know how cake sits around. Everybody ate that cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Everest had preyed on it. and was infusing love, that it would taste delicious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it was. I thought it was the lemon.
No, it was the deliciousness of the lemon, Jason. You were attracted. You desired that cake.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Jason's birthday's tomorrow.
Yes, I'll be
Yeah.
300.
You're
Tomorrow.
300. I thought it was 29. Yeah.
No, it goes the other way. I don't
Yeah.
get younger,
Oh.
get older by the century.
Jason, do you have for your birthday?
Do I have what?
Any plans going on for your birthday?
It's all a surprise. It's like my wife is has plans, and it's I don't like to know.
You don't like?
No, because I know it'll be good.
Yeah, she'll do good. She'll do great.
Yeah, it's usually, you know, something interesting and fun. It's not like you know, doing something that would be like, let's go to the DMV and sit in the we'll do that for your birthday. And it's like
All right. All right.
Afterwards, we'll stop by the post office and drop a package.
Right.
we'll stand in line somewhere, you know, in the hot sun.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, it's usually something that's of interest. You know, for a long time, she was writing a travelogue for Japanese tourists, and so she would have to go out to various places in LA, which is huge, and go to all these like specific kind of tourist
I
sites.
wish she'd do it in English, because we'd all go.
Well, I mean, she did have pictures and stuff like that when she did it, but it was you know, the places that were not just, you know, the Hollywood Walk of Fame and you know, the more known tourist places. They were like out of the ordinary places. And
I know.
just,
I
like,
thought it was
fascinating.
fabulous.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
I learned a lot about just traveling in LA, kind of what was what and all, because for 20 years it was just like
Well, name
God.
something.
So-
Name something that was off.
like
that was-
Watt Tower.
Okay. So
Watt
what's the
Tower. It's like in the middle of Watts there, but it's this art piece that this one man, he dedicated his life to building it, and at one time they tried to take it down, but he built it so strong that they couldn't. It was not an easy proposition. He used a lot of rebar and, you know, concrete and stuff. And what it is, it's this ship that he built that's aimed towards like Portugal or something, which was his home country. And so it you know, takes up like a little bit of a city block there. But
so it's called the Watt Tower.
yeah, Watt Tower. It's
Wow.
it's a mosaic with all these pieces that he would, you know, scraps of you know, metal and glass, and so it's just beautiful. It's amazing.
So that sounds fascinating. See, that's the fun things that we would never know about. See, that's why I wanted her to do an English one too, because in Japanese, it's great. Can you show your books and your Japanese book? And we want to see Tawny's book.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Tawny, you show your
Yeah,
book.
show your book. All Within Time, New Beginnings. See, isn't it beautiful? Look at the beautiful cover she did too. Yeah, gorgeous.
Name down up below.
What is below?
Oh, my name. I'm sorry. It's my name.
Tawny
Right.
Parker.
Yes. And so do you don't have a website for your work yet, right?
I
But
do.
you do? Oh, tell us.
But I have Facebook. I have my
Okay.
Tawny Parker Facebook.
Okay. Tawny Parker Facebook. You can catch her there, or you can order the book on Amazon, and it's All Within Time, everybody.
Yeah.
So Jason, show your books. I mean,
Tawny-
I should show my books, but they're not around.
Well,
I do have one. I have my old one, my first one. Yeah,
Oh,
but look at the
here's-
Magic Channel reading.
Here's the Japanese
Japanese
one.
version, yeah.
And
funny.
that was you know, came about because I was teaching a class
That's
in
next for
Japan.
Tawny. That's next for Tawny.
Right, are the foreign
Japanese, Spanish, you know,
French.
she's gonna do all that. Yeah. Russian, she's gonna do it all. Chinese.
everything.
Well,
Definitely.
I was considering after my love romance book, I wanted to get into a fantasy book, and I was going to do that too as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
I have a
So
lot-
you have a lot. It sounds like you have a lot to give us. Yeah. To bring
And
us
then-
in.
and because I did that movie script, it was an adventure thriller type kind of movie script I did back in the early 2000s, and I was kind of considering taking that and turning it into a book as well.
Yeah.
So-
See, perfect.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, he will, because he's written scripts and all that, he will write out his ideas and all. He'll put it in a script form, and then he'll create a book from it. So that's a totally valid process as far as, you know.
So he puts it in script first,
Yeah.
like an outline.
Yeah, I put my it's the adventure thriller movie script. I put it into a script, and then I figured, okay, well, I can just try putting it on a book as well.
I think it'd be great as a book
Yeah, do it.
too. And then, you know, and then the script will be revisited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to just conquer every avenue I can and see where it goes from there. Just
Yeah.
get my be diverse about it, and
Yeah, it's
see.
all progress. It's
Mhm.
wonderful. Well, thank you, Tawny, for being on the show today.
Thank you, Tara, for having me. It was great talking to you, and same with you too, Jason. And
Yeah,
happy
Jason.
well.
Yeah, happy
Oh,
birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And we can find Jason at jasondmckean.com. And that's JASON
D as in Dragon Lord.
Yes, McKean.
McKean,
MC
MCKEAN.
Right. And I'm at tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com. And you can find Tawny on Facebook, and it's Tawny Parker, TAWNY Parker, PARKER. And thank you, Tawny. Blessings, everybody.
Yeah, all
Lots of love.
best.
And the one last note I wanted
Yes.
to add was if everybody basically if you guys do end up purchasing my book, if you guys don't mind leaving a positive review or feedback, I would greatly appreciate that as well, because that will help me with, you know, promotions and sales as well.
Yes.
All within time. All within time on Amazon
I love it.
All within time.
by Tawny Parker.
And yes,
Okay.
and the book is called New Beginnings.
Yeah.
And then of course, because I'm on the second book, just look out for the second book. It should
Yes.
be soon. Yeah, so I'm very excited.
We'll have Tawny on again.
Awesome.
Okay. Blessings, everybody.
I'll be back.
Bye.